Welcome to Despicable Me Deep Dive. Today on the show, child trafficking and attempted murder by law enforcement.
Yeah, we're diving into a story today that's deeply troubling.
It really is. It's based entirely on the first-hand account of one individual, a man named Thomas Bain, and involves some extremely serious allegations against law enforcement in Maine.
And just to be clear up front, our goal here isn't to independently verify every claim Mr. Bain makes. That's not really possible in this format.
Right. Think of this more as us unpacking his narrative. We're going through the sequence of events as he describes them, trying to understand the core allegations and highlight the parts that, frankly, raise huge questions.
Exactly. Sifting through a complex and very disturbing document, essentially.
Okay, so where does he start? His account begins, interestingly, by stating he has positive intentions, wanting to support parents who are struggling within what he calls the system.
And he specifically names that system as CPS, Child Protective Services.
He doesn't mince words, does he? He calls it evil and damaging America to the core.
Yeah, strong language. He believes it tries to assimilate children, whatever he means by that precisely, and that parents are this powerful, united voting bloc because they care about their kids.
It definitely sets a strong tone, a very adversarial stance towards CPS right from the outset.
It certainly frames his whole perspective, yes. It's crucial context for everything that follows.
And then it takes a very sharp, very dark turn. He claims his house was blown up.
On September 10th, 2024, while he was inside
Inside the house, and he points the finger directly at the Maine State Police and the Lisbon Police Department.
specifically in Lisbon, Maine. He says that was the absolute last day he saw his children, Micah and Gabriel.
Wow. He describes their life as a constant battle, mentions he wrote about it in a novel called Never Give Up Hope, and even offers it free on Kindle.
The house explosion allegation. I mean, accusing police of that kind of violence, it's...
It's like asking the fire department to commit arson, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just completely incongruous with their supposed role.
It's an extraordinary claim. It immediately escalates things way beyond a typical dispute with child services into alleged state-sponsored violence.
He also mentioned something about a lawsuit filed back in February.
Yes, against the governor of Maine and the head of Maine CPS, Bobby Johnson. He even gives the case name, Bain v. Mills, filed in the U.S. District Court of Maine.
And then he throws in that Maine is basically a communist state.
Right. It shows how he's viewing all this through a, let's say, very specific political and systemic lens. He clearly feels he's up against a fundamentally unjust system.
Okay, so he files this lawsuit, and then things seem to escalate even further, if that's possible.
According to him, yes. He says the day after filing that suit, he finished up some major research he'd been doing.
Research into what?
Child trafficking and child grooming. Research he says he 100% stands by.
And he believes this research is why he became a target.
That's his claim, that dirty cops in Maine targeted him because of this research and are actively trying to have him killed.
So he goes from filing a suit to suddenly feeling like he's uncovered this massive conspiracy that puts his life in danger. It's like dialing 911 and getting the mafia instead.
He draws a direct line, lawsuit, then research, then alleged attempts on his life by police. It's a narrative of uncovering something dangerous and facing retaliation for it.
So what happens next, according to his account?
He describes being kidnapped, his word, by two Lisbon police officers.
Does he name them?
Yes, an Officer Ouellette and an unnamed sergeant. He specifically claims Officer Ouellette intended to kill him that night.
Kill him? And what was the pretext for the interaction?
He says they claim they smelled alcohol on him, which he absolutely denies, states he'd quit drinking 6 months prior.
Okay, so he denies being intoxicated. Then what does he say happened?
He recounts being beaten, falsely arrested, and then handcuffed for about 4 hours straight.
4 hours.
Yeah, leading to, he says, severe damage in both hands, required surgery apparently, and means he can never ride his motorcycle again.
That's incredibly specific. The detail about the motorcycle adds a personal touch to the alleged physical harm.
Definitely. And it wasn't just his hands. He also describes suffering a super severe impact to his head during this encounter.
So beaten, falsely arrested, severely injured. Where do they take him?
To a hospital. And this is another part of his story that's quite disturbing.
Oh, so.
He says he pulled the medical records later and alleges they falsely claimed he was under the influence at the hospital.
Despite his denial and presumably any tests they might have run.
He implies the records contradict the reality. He also says he told the doctor and nurse about the severe pain and damage to his hands, but nothing was done.
Nothing. They just ignored his injuries.
According to him, yes. He even says he pleaded with the doctor not to release him back to the police officer, fearing for his safety, but was ignored.
That paints a picture of the medical staff being, well, complicit, doesn't it? It's like going to a referee for help and they join the other team in fouling you.
If his account is accurate, it raises serious ethical questions about the care he received or didn't receive.
After the hospital, where did he end up? Jail.
Eventually, yes. But he describes a significant, unexplained delay in getting there, even though the jail was apparently only 2 miles away.
And once he got to the jail.
This is where he makes that comparison to the Stanford prison experiment.
Right, the famous study showing how quickly power corrupts in a simulated prison.
He says his experience was that, but on steroids and out of control, implying extreme psychological and physical abuse.
Before he even got fully processed into the jail, though, wasn't there something about a mental health evaluation?
Yes. He claims he was initially denied entry into the jail itself and told he needed a mental health evaluation first.
But why? Had he threatened anything?
He insists not. He says he'd just been cleared at the hospital, no suicidal thoughts, no homicidal thoughts, and critically, no alcohol found in his system.
So he believes the evaluation was just a pretext, another form of harassment, like being forced to jump through bureaucratic hoops designed to wear you down.
That's exactly how he presents it, a way to justify further mistreatment, not a genuine concern for his well-being.
And the mistreatment he alleges inside the jail, it's brutal.
It is. He describes being beaten for 4 straight days, resulting in a head injury. He mentions doctors measuring a scar, potential peripheral vision damage. He says he needed a bone graft in his jaw.
On top of the hand surgeries.
Yes, and also needing attention for his right rotator cuff.
And the conditions he describes.
Horrific. Being left naked in excrement, beaten so badly he couldn't get off the floor, having his food thrown in urine.
My God. That sounds like something out of a medieval torture chamber, not a modern county jail in Maine.
The allegations are incredibly severe. If true, they represent profound violations of basic human rights.
Now, he makes a crucial claim about this alleged assault in jail. He says it was videotaped.
Correct. He states it was premeditated, absolutely provable, and videotaped.
And has he seen this video? Or gotten access to it?
No. He says he filed a Freedom of Information Act request, a FOIA, for that video immediately upon his release from Androscoggin County Jail.
Standard procedure to get government records.
Right. But he claims it hasn't been provided. He also requested his medical records from the jail itself, expecting them to contradict whatever the official story is.
So the video is key. He believes it proves his claims, but he can't get it.
Precisely. The alleged existence and withholding of this video is central to his narrative now. It fuels his suspicion of a cover-up.
He also mentioned something about Officer Ouellette, the one he accused of wanting to kill him, saying something specific at the hospital.
Yes, he claims that while he was in the hospital, Officer Ouellette actually recited parts of the lawsuit Bain had filed against the governor and CPS head.
Really? Like quoting it back to him?
That's the allegation, which, as Bain says, understandably terrified him about being released back into that officer's custody. It sounds like intimidation, pure and simple, like a bully quoting your diary back to you. It certainly adds another layer to his claims of being specifically targeted and harassed.
And his efforts to get the video and his jail medical records since then. How has that gone?
He describes making calls specifically to the records department at Androscoggin County Jail and to someone named Chief Deputy Bill Gagnon.
And what was he told?
He says he was informed that both the video and his medical records were sent to the county attorneys.
His medical records sent to the attorneys.
Yeah, which he immediately flags as a potential HIPAA violation, the medical privacy law.
Right, your medical records are supposed to be confidential. Sending them to prosecutors without consent or a specific legal order seems questionable.
It does raise questions about procedure and privacy, certainly. He expresses immense frustration, not just about the alleged cover-up, but because he says he needs those medical records for proper treatment.
Especially for the head injury, right? He mentioned needing a specialist.
Exactly. He needs a specialist to see the documentation of the impact to his head, and he feels he's hitting a brick wall trying to get it. It sounds like trying to navigate a maze designed by Kafka.
So what's his goal now, beyond getting treatment?
He wants that alleged jail video to go national. He also wants to share his research on what he calls a mathematical algorithm.
An algorithm used for what?
He believes CPS, or maybe DHR, Department of Health and Human Resources, uses this algorithm in child trafficking.
Child trafficking facilitated by an algorithm. That's a massive claim.
It is. He alleges it's used to fraudulently steal children from good parents, based purely on budget requirements.
Wow. Does he acknowledge any nuance there, or is it all just corrupt?
He does concede that not everyone working in the system is bad, but quickly adds that he believes the bad are many.
And he maintains his own children were never in danger.
Never, he says. Except, in his view, when CPS itself intervened.
Okay, so he believes there's this systemic issue, maybe even involving an algorithm, and he wants to expose it using the video of his alleged assault.
That seems to be the plan. And he makes a direct appeal to listeners for help.
Wow.
He gives out a phone number, 207-753-2500, extension 12045, which he says is the Androscoggin County Jail Sheriff's Records Department.
And asks people to call.
Yes, explicitly asks listeners to call that number and request the video of his alleged assault. He believes public pressure is the key to getting it released.
A public call to action. Like crowdsourcing justice, almost.
He clearly hopes that releasing the video will expose the wrongdoing he alleges and, ultimately, help get children back to their families.
And he ends his account with a personal message.
Yes, a message directly to his children, Micah and Gabriel, telling them he loves them and he's trying his best to bring them home. It's very raw, very emotional.
Okay, you've just taken a deep dive into a truly alarming account. Thomas Bain's narrative paints an incredibly grim picture. Alleged corruption, shocking violence, and a system he portrays as being designed to tear families apart. It's like hearing about a hospital that specializes in making people sicker.
It really is. And you have to consider the implications here. If even parts of this are true, we're talking about staggering potential for abuse of power.
The vulnerability of people caught in these systems, legal child protective services, it's immense, isn't it? The impact on families is just devastating to contemplate. It's about as comforting as finding a shark in your swimming pool.
Absolutely. And Bain's specific request for public help in getting that video, what does it say when someone feels they have to resort to that?
Right. When requests for evidence, basic transparency, are allegedly met with silence or obstruction. It makes you wonder if the strategy is just to hope the problem goes away if ignored long enough, like a toddler covering their eyes.
It leaves us with a really critical question, I think. What happens when the very systems built to protect people are accused of these kinds of horrific acts?
What recourse do individuals truly have? And what's our role, as citizens who hear these stories, in demanding answers and accountability when the system itself is under such a dark cloud? It feels about as trustworthy as trusting a fox to guard the henhouse after reading this account.
It's a question with no easy answers.
Thanks for tuning into the Despicable Maine Deep Dive. Remember, issues like this is just another reason living in Despicable Maine is theft of your life.
Woke up to fire flames on the wall. September smoke, I still hear the call. They tried to end me, silence my name, but I'm still standing, screaming through pain. Took my boys, took my soul, twisted the system, hearts turned cold. Truth's a hammer, I'm forging the chain, dragging it straight through Despicable Maine. Oh, Despicable Maine, where justice is blind and the devils remain. For truth in Despicable Maine. Cuffed and broken, blood on the floor, lies from a badge behind a locked door. A doctor laughed, said you'll be fine, while I let read lawsuits like nursery rhymes. They fed me filth, they fed me fear. Still I rise, my message clear. You steal the kids, you hide the stain, but I'm the storm in Despicable Maine. Oh, Despicable Maine, where chance to birth brave and unleash the insane. Oh, we're breaking the chains, from jailhouse lock to algorithmic games. The truth will burn through Despicable Maine. thought I'd break, but every lie you told just fuels the quake. I see your system, I see your trade, the numbers, the files, the prices you made. You thought no one would listen, but they're listening now. Mike Gabe, I'm still alive. Your daddy's voice will not be denied. Across the airwaves, through the flame, I'll carve our names in despicable lane. Oh, despicable lane. No more shadows, no more shame. Oh, I'm lighting the flame for every stolen child. I'm shouting their name. We rise as one in despicable Maine. Despicable Maine. No more pain. Despicable Maine. We fight again.